my name is Henny.
And I'm Kate, and we researched a case that is called Russo versus Central School District. It was heard in the Second Circuit District Court, and Mrs. Russo lost the case and then was looked at by the Supreme Court.
What happened in this case was Ms. Russo had refused to do the pledge, but not out of spite, but out of her belief system that she didn't want to recite liberty and justice for all, because for her, she did not believe that the people in the United States truly had equal liberty and justice for all. But every day, she would silently stand up in respect of the pledge. She didn't have to recite the pledge because she had a fellow teacher, Catherine Adams, that would lead the pledge. There was no records of her soliciting the students not to do the pledge. She was very respectful, but the problem comes in before she got hired on August 27, she had to sign a loyalty oath, which means she had to comply to everything that the school had to offer. On April 17th, however, the vice principal came in to see what Ms. Russo did during the pledge, and she actually received a positive review. Following that, on April 19th, the principal also came to observe, and he too had nothing to say at that moment. But the following day, he summoned her to explain why she did what she did, and she explained that it was about the phrasing of liberty and justice for all, and that conflicted with her belief of people truly not having that sense of liberty and justice for all. So on May 1st, she was visited again by the principal, but this time dismissed without reason. So then she took it to the district court, which led to Judge Burke ruling that she in favor of the school.
And in Judge Burke's finding, he had, and I'm going to refer to my notes because there's quite a few of them, he has 6 areas that he felt that she was not in compliance with. The first one was failure to follow school regulations. The second one was refusal to teach a course in the art department. And then the third one was her lack of cooperation. Fourth one, refusal to participate in the Pledge of Allegiance. And 5, failure to perform her duties. 6, an alleged involvement of her soliciting students in her conflict with the district.
Ms. Russo was able to get an appeal because out of the 6 things stated by Judge Burke, only one of them stood grounds on why she was dismissed. And further investigation was done until the case was taken up to Supreme Court.
And the Supreme Court looked at Judge Burke's findings and found that he had not written a holding statement, which is the part where a judge will tell what his justification for his ruling was. And they felt that since this is a civil liberties, this is a freedom of speech issue, that they needed to look at it. And they feel it was found that her standing quietly with her arms at her sides is as much a speech issue. She was making a statement by her silence. And that they also investigated all the other claims and found that they had no validity whatsoever. And the only valid part was her refusal to pledge allegiance. So the Supreme Court sent it back to the lower court to be tried again on the one remaining issue was, is it okay for a school district to fire a teacher for her conscience of not pledging allegiance? And that's how the case was resolved. We feel this is an important case because the issue that was left to be decided, and when it was sent back, is do teachers lose their constitutional rights to freedom of speech just by becoming teachers? And this case has been cited in a number of different regions of the country in a number of different cases. and to show that teachers indeed do not lose their right to freedom of speech.
And despite the fact that the case was in 1970, which was a few years back, it still holds today that, you know, the Pledge of Allegiance is a huge topic of whether students should perform the pledges or whether teachers, and a lot of people now are choosing not to, which is not to say, you know, it's something that you shouldn't do. But it also goes back to that whole freedom of speech. Do you, as a teacher, if you become a teacher, do you lose your First Amendment? Do you lose your right to do what you please? But it's picking your battles, and that's what happened in this case.